Hi, you're listening to Light Lounge with Dimitri K, broadcasting around the world, award winners and emerging artists from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida. Into a book called Out of This World and Into the Next by Adrian Marias. The author remembers a conference in Mexico with a topic discussing potential flight to Mars. The man next to me looked impressed that I had swallowed the whole lot and, skipping the small talk, asked me what I felt when I look out into the stars. A sense of belonging, I replied without hesitation. The man was a cosmonaut, and a discussion about our place in the universe ensued, which has remained deeply entrenched into my memory to this day. Looking at the oldest light tells us not just about when the universe came into existence, but also about the earliest matter. The water molecules making up more than half of our body contains hydrogen atoms constituting around a tenth of our mass, that are almost 14 billion years ago. As the astronomer Carl Sagan once said, we're made of star stuff. Well, it's not for nothing that we call the artists that we like stars.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
And our program revolves entirely around them.
Whoa, whoa, yeah!
With an exciting new album, Castle of the Golden Sun, our guest tonight is the Global Music Award winner, songwriter, composer, producer Jeff Eisenberg. Welcome to Light Lounge with Dimitri K. Jeff.
Thanks, Dimitri. Nice to be here.
From Jeff Eisenberg's new album, we're listening to The Journey Begins. While listening to your next piece, Sizzling Sand, I felt as a part of a caravan traveling through a desert in search of the castle of the golden sun. I guess your critics felt the same when they sang. Your album illuminates an emotional, spiritual journey that's ultimately hopeful and fulfilling, but not without its obstacles and pitfalls.
Yeah, so the album is chronicling our life's journey, and the music reflects various moments on that journey. Some offer some challenges and obstacles and are reflective of those moments. And um, Sizzling Sand is the first time where we feel that. It's a moment of challenge. It's a moment of uncomfortability, and these are times during the course of our life where we have to push forward. We have to deal with whatever that uncomfortability is, and continue to move on to try to seek our goal, and to try to, in this case, try to find our metaphoric castle. And so the journey has to continue on if we want to achieve that. And the album is just reflective of those moments in our life where we have these decisions to make and choices and difficult times. And we have to sort of summon up our fortitude to try to just continue on, move forward, and to try to find our castle.
That's so true. Life without challenges doesn't nurture creativity, and without creativity, we can barely see our golden castles. Your album is produced by Lonnie Park, and I also see Ron Korp, flute, Mark Gergik, classical guitar, Emilio Lopez Yanes, oboe, Chris Castellanos, French horn, Danny Flam, trumpet, trombone, French horn, and Dale Edward Chunk, percussion. Having the personal musical stamp of all those talented musicians should have been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, we had some great musicians perform on the album. I felt really fortunate that we were able to reach out and just get some wonderful, wonderful artists to help us record and make this album. It's an orchestral work, but we didn't actually use an orchestra, which can be quite costly. And so Lonnie Park and I decided that we were going to just kind of reach out to various musicians where we needed certain instruments. They would record their tracks remotely, send it in, and then the creative part is kind of putting it all together, figuring out, which instrument should go where. And of course, that's the big challenge. And putting all these instruments and musicians together, make it sound as if it is an orchestra. And I'm very happy with the results and the way it all came out. And all of these amazing artists were just a joy to work with. I'm not going to mention everyone's name. You've mentioned a few, but several are Grammy nominated and Grammy winning artists, and I really felt fortunate to be able to work with all of them.
In those digital years, a lot of music has been recorded remotely, and you don't need to spend a fortune about your recording so that you bring the highest value, and you are a proof that you've done that. And this is the way we climb to the top, the title of your next recording. As any other life journeys, your album tracks are leading the listeners in different directions, from Irish scenery to a soft pop ballad, Which Way to Go, jazz and blues, Search On, or Gothic Turn, Lost in Darkness. That really creates a personal signature on your concept, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Each piece of music on the album takes the listener in a different direction, creating hopefully a different emotion or feeling about where we are at that moment on the journey. For example, Search On, which has a little jazzy flavor to it, a little more upbeat, a little more up-tempo. That is sort of propelling us forward on the journey. We have to continue to search on for our castle. We have to continue moving forward, as opposed to Lost in Darkness, which is really the low point of the journey. This is the moment in our lives when we are really confronted with a major challenge, a major difficulty, something that really affects us. And creates a lot of uncomfortability, and we have to question certain things about ourselves, and it's a tough time. That's what Lost in Darkness is about. It's also about getting through that and continuing on the journey. So each piece of music really is designed to be different, not only just in terms of the narrative, but also it kind of keeps the listener interested in terms of the dynamics. This piece sounds different than that piece, and we don't want them all to kind of have the same flavor, the same vibe. We want them to sound differently, and I think they do. I think each one stands out on its own.
The music is a reflection of our life, which is usually multicolored. We're listening to Search On and Lost in Darkness. You began as a songwriter in 1993 as the creator and driving force behind the singing and performing group for children Junior Jam. You won several Napa Children's Music Web and Kids Music Awards. Your song Happy Pants was a finalist in the International Songwriting Competition in 2010, as well as a top 5 finalist in Nickelodeon's Parents Pick Awards for Best Children's Song in 2011. Quite an extraordinary start and interesting change of directions, with more cinematic TV movie orientation represented by your album Castle of the Golden Sun. The bridge for you, from music for kids to composing instrumental works, was your work with Lonnie and Coconut Creek. There are 3 singles released during that time under the band's name, starting during COVID. I believe it came to you as a natural transition, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It was kind of a natural transition going from music for kids and then to Coconut Creek, which is a band that I formed with Lonnie Park, and we started doing some more adult music with adult themes, very introspective works that I was the songwriter for, and that ended a few years ago, and it evolved into the current album, Castle of the Golden Sun, which contained some pieces of music that I always had in my head. I've had some of these melodies in my head for like 40 years, and that was really the genesis of the album.
It's interesting when you mention that some of the ideas are as old as 40 years old. With the composers, producers always have something that has not come to fruition, and some of yours finally came.
These melodies wouldn't go away. I thought they were valuable, worthwhile in some way, and was thinking about how could I record these melodies. How could I kind of flesh them out a little bit more? And that was the beginning of the composing, the writing of the current album, was sort of finishing off on these melodies that just stayed in my head for 40 years. And the narrative about Castle of the Golden Sun developed even afterwards, actually. It sort of came as we started, recording some of these pieces. It became apparent that there was a story here. There's a narrative here. We're talking about a journey. We're talking about trying to find a castle, a metaphoric castle, our dreams, our aspirations. We want to achieve something, our goals, and that became the castle. And so, it sort of started in a very, innocuous, innocent way with just some melodies I had in my head, and it developed into the current album, which I'm thrilled the way it turned out.
I believe the listeners of Light Lounge with Dimitri K will be thrilled too. All of us, composers, producers, are constantly in search of the next creative avenue. What is yours?
I'd like to continue to try to ride the momentum that's been created from this album and look into sync licensing. I think a lot of the works from Castle of the Golden Sun are very ripe for sync, music to be used in the media, in film, in TV, and video games. And I think there's a good possibility that that's where the next steps will be for this current music. In addition, there's the possibility of using a lot of the music from the album in dance, actually. So I've been in contact with a couple of choreographers, and they feel because there's this great narrative attached to Castle that this could be interpreted really well through dance. And so I'm looking into that as well. And there are a lot more melodies going on in my head and a lot more possibilities for some future instrumental orchestral works that I've begun to think about and hopefully we'll start working on soon. And that's kind of in the offing for my immediate future. And in addition to that, doing perhaps some more children's music down the road. And we'll see where all of that develops.
Dance, sync licensing, lots of new music. That's the creative path of Jeff Eisenberg. And we wishing you success. You already answered the question with the title of your song, Which Way to Go? Listening to Castle of the Golden Sun, one can feel your impulsive attempt to capture, even metaphorically, the moment of life with inspiration, spontaneity and temperament. Now, from the listeners of Flight Lounge with Dimitri K, let's wish Jeff Eisenberg success with his album Castle of the Golden Sun. And for those interested to purchase your music, where is it available?
Yeah, Castle of the Golden Sun is available on all the major digital platforms. And if anyone would like a CD, and I know many of us nowadays do not listen to music that way, but we have a beautiful little booklet and some explanations of the narrative and some great artwork by my graphic artist Darren Melchiori, who is a very, very talented guy. You can go to jeffeisenbergmusic.com and just click on buy, B-U-Y, and it'll take you to Bandcamp. And through Bandcamp, you can purchase a CD or directly through me. You can just email me at Jeff Eisenb, that's JEFFEISENB @gmail.com, and I'll make sure to get you a signed copy of Castle. And it's really been a pleasure to be here today, Dimitri, and thanks so much.
Thank you, Jeff. We're arriving at the end of the interview with your tune, The Arrival. That was Castle of the Golden Sun by Jeff Eisenberg. Life is better than listening to a commercial radio station playing endlessly a few resembling songs. If you feel that way, you came at the right place. Light Lounge with Dimitri K plays the best award winners and independent artists around the world. And now let's listen to Skyline, one of the songs from my previous albums, Keep Moving. Presenting his new song, Feel This Way So Sexy, we have on the phone soul artist Tian, who is a singer-songwriter, producer, arranger from St. Petersburg, Florida, performs and records with 5.5 octaves. With his singing voice, he also performs live at the piano or keyboard. Chris had some major media coverages, including Associated Press, and has been selected 6 times for Grammy consideration. Welcome to Light Lounge with Dimitri K. Chris.
Well, hi. Thank you so much for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited from what I hear from you. Actually, I listened a couple of times to Feel This Way. You're an artist who has vision and the technique to realize it. One can notice the intensity of the outcome, obviously. Your music is alert, keeps the listener engaged without a trace of monotony. Let me ask you the following. If you remember in the 50s, 60s, 70s, actually, you don't remember, but this is something in the past, but you probably heard about Ima Sumac, the famous Peruvian artist, famous with her voice span over 4 octaves. It seems that you're surpassing her.
Well, yes, I have had vocal training in the past.
I see.
Yes, two wonderful teachers that I've had in my career. One, Roy Rogerson, where Roy used to conduct Johnny Mathis.
Yes.
He gave me voice lessons for a number of years. And another is a jazz pop pianist, Copeland Davis. Copeland lives here in Florida, and he's in the
Yes.
Palm Beach area right now as we speak. But I'm originally from a town called Portsmouth, New Hampshire,
Yes.
and met Copeland Davis at an airport in Boston on the way down to Florida, and then found out through Copeland that he lived in Newburyport, which is Newburyport, Massachusetts, which is not too far from the town I live in, and took Copeland on as my not only as a good teacher and mentorship, but he became a very good friend of mine.
Sure.
And if you want to hear amazing piano and talent, he still plays out in the Palm Beach surrounding area.
I see. I see. With teachers like those, obviously, you advanced and you found yourself. The most important thing for artists, I think, is when you come to the point to have your personal signature, and you obviously have it, and it has been noticed. I see in your background that actually your music has been to some TV shows and other, General Hospital, All My Children, and other, just to name a few. Just tell me something about your success in those.
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I want to tell all of the listeners that anything is possible when you want to follow a dream and
Yes.
when you're finished with a product, or in this case with music. I can't thank Underground Productions in Boston, Mass, for helping me achieve the songs on All My Children, The Shy on Showtime,
I see.
Malacio in Sao Paulo, South America, Brazil, and Girlfriend CBS, and then last spring, the surprise of having the name of the song, on General Hospital,
I
which
see.
is General Hospital is a very, very, I think it's one of the longest running soap operas out there.
And you're giving good boost to all independent artists, because in my show there are a lot of independent artists. Nevertheless, many of them achieve award winning. Actually, I wouldn't even say some. I have over hundreds that have been on my show, and then they were nominated, and some of them won the Grammy. So you are quite encouragement for all of those listening, and I also see that you are channeling in other avenues during the last 13 years. You found your voice with yourself as a host on Urban Music Buzz. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, Urban Music Buzz is very much it's a I would call it similar to Ebony Jet for major and independent R&B, soul, gospel, hip hop, reggae. It's black entertainment.
Yes.
And I had, you know what? I'm probably gonna bring the show back. I went on hiatus for a little bit. I'm still kind of on hiatus because of life. Life gets in the way on some things, but I can't thank enough. There are artists out there, major artists who I've interviewed, who I want to thank, like Gloria Gaynor,
Yes.
Regina Bell, Lenny Williams from the Tower of Power, Music Soul Child.
Pretty good lineup.
Yes.
I was very proud with me interviewing Clive Davis. Actually, we know he's
It's
sort
huge.
of yes, sort of the father of modern music. Let me ask you something. How do you record your music? Do you put down something in writing and then go in the studio and record it, or just go in the studio and start improvising until it comes through?
Well, these days, and learning over the years from other producers and my mentors, they taught me a lot on what to do, especially Copeland Davis and my other producers in Boston, Mass Underground Productions with Dow Brain and Brad Young. If I didn't have them at all in my family, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now. And I use GarageBand. Everything is now home base, and everything is in GarageBand, while others use Pro Tools, Ableton, and other software. I stick with GarageBand because I know it can do the same things as Pro Tools can. I know it's capable of doing other things that all these other programs can do. It's just knowing where it is and how to do it.
Well, yes, software is at the end works the same, depending on your ability to use it. GarageBand is actually a product of Apple, as is Logic, so GarageBand is okay.
Yes, and I think, and I want to tell both major and independent artists that GarageBand has a lot more, and the more time you spend with it, the more you get to know, the more, and the tutorials on YouTube, and when you start learning where everything is, it's actually easy once you understand what you're doing.
Yes.
In my case, I started off way back with a 4-track cassette machine, cassette 4-track. I started with those, and then went up to digital. So I started analog, and in other major studios around Boston, it was doing the reel to reel.
Yes.
So, which were these big monster tapes,
The new technique is obviously something overwhelming. I remember I'm old enough to remember at the end of the 80s when one of the albums, I was still living in Europe, and one of the albums of Whitney Houston was recorded. I remember her voice in New York, and her brass orchestra was in Los Angeles or something like this, in a few different places. And I was thinking, how do they put together all these things? And all of a sudden we're at the middle of this age that we can do all of them. I'm recording all the time with some musician from Europe, from England, and I'm living in Florida. So, well, the only thing is to have good enough taste and to know how to use the technique. That's all about it.
Right. And and going back to Whitney and David Foster and all the top artists, everybody has a technique, and everybody has different way of things being produced. Back then we didn't have the digital world like we have today, and way back in the 60s and 70s, you're more analog, but you couldn't redo a lot of things. The artists had to start over from scratch if they made a mistake, or if they didn't like something. You had to redo everything, and then and kind of like be actors and make the best of the song.
Well, again, one music, one piece of song or whatever the music is has different faces. One could be directly coming from the studio. Different face would be if you're performing live. If you perform the same thing with a big orchestra, with a small orchestra, or only with a piano.
Right.
So we have so much flexibility, and at the end of the day, again, we're going back to the vision and the technique to realize it. And I see you have attracted the attention of a lot of media like CBS News, NBC News, ABC, and on and on and on and on. Let me ask you another thing. What people like you, tireless, obviously, what is the next creative avenue for you, Chris Tian?
Well, okay. So first off, the song that I currently did that was on the ballot for Grammy consideration, "Feel This Way" was Sexy, features a saxophonist named Butch Thomas. And Butch Thomas toured with Sting, Lenny Kravitz. He played, I guess he played with Elton John. And he's also in "How Do I Love Thee," the music video with Queen Latifah back in the day, back in the 90s. And Butch lives here in not too far from where I live here in St. Pete, Florida. And I'll be collaborating more with Butch, and I'll be remixing "Feel This Way" to amp it up more electronically, giving some more of the hardcore sounds for the younger listeners. I think the song I just put out is great. I want to keeping the song alive and making people feel incredibly this way,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure your creative avenue is pretty busy and even crowded. So in the future, we're going to hear a lot more coming from you.
Releasing some soulful ballads, with all the ranges of my voice. I love to sing in my high voice, but I also have other ranges too that I like to sing in, and so I'll be launching probably some ballads and some other styles of music, but sticking in the R&B, soul, and EDM and house categories, because that's where I belong.
You feel exactly where you belong, and the most genuine thing is going to come out of there. Maybe in the future as I see you on the background of a big orchestra, would be something that you can experiment. That would be interesting also.
And I'll be taking over Whitney Houston's spotlight, and yeah, over here
Well.
on the light lounge.
Well, obviously you can cover that. You can cover that and more.
Maybe I'll give you a jingle.
Absolutely. And let me refer to the listeners of Light Lounge with Dimitri K. Success in your career path. And for those interested to purchase your music, where can it be found?
My music is available on all the online stores. Also, you can go to my website at official Chris Tian.
I see.
Chris Tian.com. And also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, with the handle at RNB Christian. All letters, all one long word, RNB Christian. And I'm Chris Tian, right here with Dimitar, and you're listening to the Light Lounge right here, right now.
Thank you, Christian. And let's one more time enjoy Feel This Way So, and wish you tremendous success in the future. We have to know that there are many competitions out there, and neither one is more significant than the other. So if we this year are not succeeding in one, maybe next year we're going to succeed on the next one. So good luck again, Christian.
And if you have any more, I'd love to come back on your show.
You're always welcome, and feel free to send me any of your upcoming recordings. And one more time, Feel This Way So Sexy, Christian.
For
You're listening to Light Lounge with Dimitri K. It's time to say goodbye. And remember, hesitation is temporary, music lasts forever. Most of the artists you heard on this show are independent artists. And if you like some of them, you can Google the name and find them on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and the rest of the digital media, and that would be a great support for them. For any comments, suggestions, and feedback, please email me at kopublishing@gmail.com. I'm Dimitri K, broadcasting from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Hey John, is that the blue cat you're talking about?